Hi, it's Generate Shape here. And clearly you're thinking, oh god, not MF again. Why is he playing MF again? Can he play another champion? Well, no, we can't because Caitlyn keeps getting banned. And I love Caitlyn, and I don't get to play her because they overbuffed her, and now everybody wants to pick or ban her. So we have to make do with MF, unless there's some nice situation where where we have a full AD comp. Then I can pick Veigar, and I love playing Veigar. But MF it is. But to cheer you guys up, to make a difference here, is we're not going to do another 10-minute laning phase of MF. We've seen enough already. We're going to be doing a 10-minute macro review, starting from 12 minutes. And to do that, we need to also explain what has happened in the first 12 minutes. Well, basically what has happened is that 3 different champs have lost their agency over the game. They don't have that much control over the game anymore. Kennen lost lane hard against Mordekaiser. He's basically useless at this point, which is not bad. Not flaming Kennen for that, but we need to see the facts. He's useless. So that's bad for us. But at the same time, Ziggs has won his lane against Lux. He also has taken first tower. So first tower is gone here. He's ahead by at least 1k on Lux, if I remember correctly. And since both of them are basically the same champs, this means that Lux doesn't have any agency because everything she does, Ziggs will do better. Now, moving on. But we won bot lane hard. Essentially, we didn't win it hard from the first minutes. What happened was that the Tristana decided to interrupt the even state that we had in the lane by doing a very stupid dive, and Thresh started roaming over the map for no reason, meaning we could just freeze out the Tristana. So this changes whatever game plan that we have. Now we have a new game plan. Basically, because 3 champs have lost agency, the map is divided into zones of control. Because Ziggs and MF both are really ahead, this means we control bot side. Bot side is ours, it's our fucking island, and they can't do anything about that. So we make the dragon our win condition. As long as we get 4 drakes, since they don't really have anything that terrifying of a team fighting comp or anything, like hyper carries, as long as we get Drake Soul, we'll probably win this game anyway, no matter how late it goes. So we can just play around this win condition, just go play safely for 4 drakes. The only thing that we need to do is stop our bleeding on top side. As long as Kennen stops dying to Mordekaiser, as long as the towers keep somewhat intact, we will win. If by any chance Mordekaiser manages to take our towers and break the inhib, that's when the problems start. Because that means that suddenly we have so much pressure top lane that this becomes a way more risky win condition. Because at any point, if this wave is pushed out, Mordekaiser might be able to TP, and suddenly it's a 5v4 for this Drake, and we would have huge issues. So, without further ado, let's see if we follow this game plan for the next 10 minutes and base our victory off of that. So, Drake is going to come up from on 12 minutes and in like 30 seconds. Just put that on right now. Okay. So, the first thing I will be doing is pushing out this wave. It could be a little bit faster, but just making sure that we can run to Drake before Trist, because she has to clear this wave first. And the good thing is, for example, in this stage that Shaco has already warded up everything. Really good supporting by Shaco here. Like you can see, actually we control the Drake pit right now. It's also easier for him. Than for Thresh to do this, because we are so ahead already as a team on the bot side. And the interesting thing happens here. So. The first thing that we see is that Trist is making absolutely no attempt at coming to Drake. Lux is kind of in a bind here. She can't really do anything about. She can't actually really do anything about Ziggs, so Ziggs can just outpressure her. And Kennen's actually dealing with somebody here. I think it's Thresh. So this Drake is pretty much going to be free. What I mean by this is actually that they did quite well here. They know that they can't contest this Drake, so the only thing that they did is make Kha'Zix do a steal attempt. The Tristana and the Thresh didn't even reach here. But what they could do is, for example, start warding topside or pressuring topside, or the Ziggs, and pressuring another place, which they didn't really do. They just kind of ran around aimlessly. But this is a good start. So we take this Drake, and as you can see, Thresh is pressuring here, but he gets caught. I don't know why he would be here alone. And you can see that Kha'Zix tries to steal it here. But since he dies and Thresh died, this is actually very important. Now we have the opportunity to start taking the plates here, because this is what we want as an AD carry. Like, we're super ahead. Now there's no objectives to punish us. There's no jungler, there's no support. We want more money, we want this plate, so we start going for these plates. It's not like Tristana is going to be able to do anything about this, right? You can see the difference is just huge. So we get some free plates, and this is something that I loved about this Olaf, to be honest, is this guy doesn't hesitate. He took Drake. The first thing he does, Kha'Zix, is that he runs to their jungle, looks for the raids, which aren't there, looks for the raptors, and since they are not there, he immediately just goes for topside and kills their top laner, actually relieving a lot of pressure on this cannon. So this guy understood. I feel like he understood macro sense and how much it means to not hesitate in your actions. If he hesitates a little bit, this kill doesn't happen. But great thing. But I feel like now we get these. We got 2 plates, or I think even 3 plates out of it. So we're very happy. And I feel like here he did a very good job of actually counter jungling as much as he could. But I think this time he forgets that Kha'Zix is already up now. And even though Mordekaiser is dead, Kha'Zix is also very dangerous, and you can see it. Especially if you're isolated, Kha'Zix can still hurt, especially if they're like quite even on it, and then the laser like unluckily clips him. But I'm not sure if that was necessary, but I know that he was focusing on counter jungling, and in that case I think it's very important that he does try that out, so that he can learn like, okay, what can I do, what can I not do. So now nothing interesting happens basically. We can move on. Yeah, this is a bit weird. So after time, for no reason at all, there's no Drake spawning or anything. Like a fight starts breaking out here. But they shouldn't be fighting in bot side at all, because they already saw that Tristana doesn't really want to do this fight. She knows she's so behind. So the thing is, if you know that your AD carry is so behind, and you know that your top lane is so ahead, then just play through the top side. But for some reason they keep playing bot side, and it's gonna come up like bad for them because we're so much stronger. It doesn't even matter if they get the drop on us or not. For example, like you can see, we just demolished them. And at the other time, yeah, Tristana didn't really act. So you have to really be wary of that. Like if you have an AD carry that's behind, a lot of them will really be reluctant to play for the team anymore, because they want to farm up to their 2 items, and from then on they will like to play the team fights again because they have damage. I feel the same way. If I'm behind, it's really hard as an AD carry to actually deal damage. Because everybody else has just better items and hurts more, etc. So I like not doing. I like also just power farming a little bit and just hoping that they take the strong side, and they should. There's absolutely no reason. There's absolutely no reason why they should fight through top side right now and go for the herald and stuff like that. But yeah, now that of course 2 people died, we know that Kha'Zix is dead, so he can pressure me. I can just flash on Tristana and chase her away. Like even if she just flashes away, which she should have, I still get this tower. So now that this tower breaks, we get more control over this jungle here, which we wouldn't have as much if this tower was here. And we can move on. So the next thing that will happen is just, I think they will take a tower back on top side. Let's see if that happens. So yeah, the Ken actually still gets mixed up in a fight with the Mordekaiser, so that is not great. Which shouldn't happen, to be honest. Even if it's in the middle of the lane, it's still... He knows that he's so behind, and he knows that Mordekaiser can just flash ult him at any point, so... Maybe just, you know, holding the waves here. Even if you get frozen, could be a little bit better, but that's okay. So what happens is that... now that you can see the pings here, now that top lane is dead, Kha'Zix knows that he can go for Herald. But we know that Drake is up in 40. As you can see, we already recalled in before that, so that we have our items bought, we spend our gold. I have 3k gold lead over Tristana, so we need to spend that gold such that we are our strongest. But this also means that there is no way that they can contest this Drake. And it's true, Kha'Zix went for Herald, you can see he only arrived here now. So, we can start going for this Drake now. And what is going to happen is just, they are still going to try to contest it. As Ken said, this is something that's really impossible for them. It's hard not to give, like, it's hard to give away third Drake and feel good about it. But this is the alternative. The alternative is going to happen is just going to get destroyed, because there's no way, as you can see, there's no way that they can win those fights. Like this time even Kennen and Mordekaiser came down, but it's too late. We already were on the Drake, where they had it before the fight broke out, basically. So yeah, once they die again, now that they lost 2 people, which they wouldn't have if they hadn't gone for Drake, they could have probably defended, but now we can take a little bit more. It's how it works, right? Every time people fuck up and they have less people, we can pressure something that they cannot defend. So this is what happens. We can now start pressuring the Zenith tower. So based off their mistake to take 2 people They actually take that break fight. Now suddenly they are unable to defend these towers. So you know. But what happens is of course that everybody spawns, and we cannot take this in it. We might have overcommitted to it, and now they kill 2 people. The good news is nothing's up on the map, so it's basically irrelevant that he killed us here. We just took Drake, and Baron is not up for another minute, so we're a bit lucky there. And then another thing happens. We don't need to be doing anything, so as you can see, for a whole minute, nothing important happens. We just go, we take the waves, we recall. And I think a very weird fight is going to break out near bot side in like half a minute. I don't remember. Let me see. So now I think, yeah, now that Lux gets caught here. Like you cannot forget as a Lux that we own this jungle basically at this point. If you look at their tower triangle, they don't have any, like they have a lot less pressure on that side of the jungle than we, which means that we can start warding it, that we can start pressuring it, especially since everybody on the bot side is stronger. So another weird fight breaks out, which they're totally not equipped for to actually take, and now they also go in 1 by 1. So with the lucky flash here, I'm able to escape the Mordekaiser, and we again became full people, and of course this time we can get in it. So this basically already spells the... Well, it's not really the end, but it's going to be the end of the game at this point. They cannot do anything to come back. Now the difference is just too large. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this inhib, and we're going to back slowly and then just set up for the last Drake, and once the last Drake is taken, the game is over. Because they will never come back from it. Unless we specifically throw it, it will be almost impossible for them to come back. So this is how I think this is how the game was won. It's basically of us knowing that we have to take Drakes to win the game because we have a strong bot side. Them forgetting that they have a strong top side, actually still trying to play around these Drakes, around bot side. And in the process of that, losing people in spots where they could have also just given up the Drake because they knew they were weaker, and try to defend and pressure the bot side and stall it out a bit, maybe cause a bit of a difference. The good thing is that what they did is that the first Drake they did do exactly that. They only committed 1 person, and at the same time they got the Herald, which was on top side, which is stronger for them. So they did a lot of good things. But in between of that, I think they started to feel the pressure of like the 3rd Drake and started making mistakes in the process, and then which meant that every time that we actually fought and took that Drake, we also could take something else because they lost 2 or 3 people and suddenly they're unable to defend them. So if you're adapting about macro, definitely think about your win condition. Definitely try to, once you're ahead, actually try to force it. If you're ahead on the goods, like if you control a certain zone because the champs in it are ahead, really try to make sure that you get all those. Make sure that you get all the objectives in that zone. Towers, scuttles, whatever, the dragon or herald, or even the red buffs. Like if you control that zone, don't hesitate to be taking a lot from that, and try to stop the bleeding on other zones on the map. And then I think that will also like increase the way, like it will make winning games a lot easier. If you're just aware of this principle. Well, if you liked the video, then please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.